So if you're a church leader, there's a big question floating around right now. How in the world do you use these powerful AI tools, like ChatGPT, in a way that's actually helpful and responsible? How do you make sure they're speaking with your ministry's voice and reflecting your core beliefs? Well, let's dive into that.
This is really the heart of it, isn't it? We've got this amazing, almost futuristic technology right at our fingertips. But can it really be a partner in a mission that's so deeply human, so deeply theological? The answer is yes, but, and this is a big but, it comes with a condition. You have to teach it what you believe first.
And this slide just shows you exactly why that's so crucial. I mean, just look at the difference. On the left, you get this generic kind of non-committal answer from a brand new AI. It's not technically wrong, but it's theologically, beige. But on the right, now that is an answer with conviction. It's specific, it's doctrinal. Getting your AI to go from the answer on the left to the one on the right, that's the whole game.
So, here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with the risks. What could go wrong? Then, we'll see why customization is the only real solution. After that, I'll walk you through a practical 4-step plan to get it done. We'll look at what you can do once it's set up, and we'll wrap up by talking about why this is all about keeping your ministry's voice, yours.
Okay, first things first. We have to understand the potential pitfalls here, because using a generic, out-of-the-box AI for ministry work isn't just a little inefficient, it can actually be pretty risky.
So here's the real danger. An AI that hasn't been guided by you is just pulling its information from the entire internet. Think about that. It's blending all kinds of conflicting worldviews and beliefs. That means it can, completely by accident, create content that slowly, subtly undermines the very message you're trying to teach. It's like having a super powerful assistant who has no idea what the mission is.
So if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, it all comes down to one really important idea: customization. This is how you take this tool from being a potential opponent to being a genuine, helpful partner in your ministry.
And when we say customization, what are we really talking about? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like you're onboarding a new staff member or a ministry assistant, right? You wouldn't just give them a computer and say, okay, go do ministry. No way. You'd sit down with them, you'd walk them through your statement of faith, your core values, your vision. That is exactly what we're doing here, but we're doing it with an AI. And when you take the time to do this, the payoff is huge. First, you get biblical integrity, because you're making sure everything it produces is grounded in Scripture. That, in turn, leads to doctrinal clarity. No more of those mixed, vague messages we saw earlier. That clarity builds consistency across all your communications, from emails to lesson plans. And what does all that lead to? It builds deep trust with your congregation, because they can see that every single thing you do reflects your core beliefs.
This right here, this is the goal. Your AI assistant becomes a partner that supports your ministry instead of opposing it.
Okay, so the why is clear, but how do we actually do it? Let's get practical. We're going to walk through a simple 4-step plan that makes this whole thing manageable. Here are the 4 steps. Pretty straightforward. First, you define and gather your foundational beliefs. Second, you plug them into the AI settings. Third, you train it on your unique tone and style. And fourth, you keep refining it as you go. So let's break each of those down. Step 1 is all about prep work. Seriously, before you even open a new chat window, you need to do your homework. Get all the core documents that define who you are and what your ministry believes in one place.
And you need to be specific. Get the official wording for your statement of faith. Write down your church's view on Scripture. Jot down your key distinctives. And this is so important, get the full text of any creeds or confessions you hold to, like the Apostles' Creed or the Westminster Confession. Giving the AI the complete source material is what makes this so powerful.
All right, once you've got all your documents ready, it's time for step 2. This is where you actually feed all of that foundational information to the AI. You'll do this in the custom settings area, usually called Customize GPT or something similar.
And here's a little peek at what that can look like. You can tell it your faith background, your preferred Bible translation, like the ESV, and here's the magic trick. You can literally copy and paste the entire text of your confession of faith right into the settings. This creates that crucial doctrinal lens that the AI will use for every single request you give it from now on.
Step 3 moves beyond what you believe to how you communicate it. The source material calls this the voice compass idea. This is all about training the AI on your specific tone. Are you more pastoral, more academic, expository? You can even feed it examples from your own writing or from teachers you admire to help it learn your style. And finally, step 4. And listen, this isn't a set it and forget it kind of deal. It's about ongoing refinement. As you use the tool, you've got to keep an eye on what it produces. If you see it drifting a little, you correct it. You update the settings. It's basically a continuous discipleship process for your digital assistant.
So, you've done the hard work. You've prepped, you've configured, you've started refining. So, now what? What's the payoff? Let's look at some of the really helpful and responsible ways you can put this thing to work.
A properly trained AI can be an absolutely incredible assistant for drafting materials. It can help you outline a sermon series, whip up a first draft of a Sunday school lesson, generate thoughtful discussion questions for your small groups. It can help with newsletters, devotionals, you name it. But notice the key word here is assist. This tool is here to augment your work, not to replace it.
And that brings us to our final and I think most important point. This entire process, from start to finish, is about one thing: making sure that the modern tools you choose to use are faithfully reflecting the timeless message that you've been called to share. So here's the bottom line. When you invest that time up front to customize your AI, you're the one in control. You're making sure this powerful tool actually serves your mission, that it speaks with your voice, and that it truly supports the theological convictions that are at the heart of your ministry.
When it all comes down to it, the question is simple. Your theology, your beliefs, they're timeless. In this new age of incredible tools, isn't it worth taking the time to teach those timeless truths to the very instruments you use to share them? Thanks for joining me for this one.